Whenever I talk about persuasion or influence, some get really pissed off. Why? Well, because they think that I teach people to manipulate others. And you know what? I am not even going to deny that. As Derek Rake says, whether we admit it, every single one of us is a manipulator. Everyone. Let's take attraction, for example. You fall in love with a woman. You present your best self to her, hoping that she loves you back. You're manipulating her perception of you, real or fake, so that she develops feelings for you. Is that manipulation? Yes, of course. But is that evil? Good question, and here's the answer. What makes manipulation good or bad depends on one thing: your intentions. There's nothing wrong with presenting your best self to a woman, but if you're tricking a woman to do something she won't do otherwise, it's evil. And Shogun method doesn't rob a woman of her free will. With Shogun method, you make a woman emotionally addicted to you, and yet she could quit if she wants to. You don't force her to do anything. The Shogun method experience is like a movie. If the movie bores you, you can walk out. Nobody's going to stop you. The choice is yours. There's a slight difference, however. With Shogun method, it's like watching a movie packed with insane plot twists. You get thrown into an emotional roller coaster. You get sucked into the thrill of not knowing what's lurking around the corner. The emotional highs and lows are a real mindfuck, but you love it. The feeling, the sensation, the excitement, the danger. You don't want to get off the ride. You don't want to quit. You want to know how the story ends. And that makes Shogun method dangerously addictive. Now, I'll admit this to you. Bad people sometimes get hold of Shogun method. Indeed, some people go rogue with this knowledge. They misuse it to hurt other people. They leave a trail of broken-hearted, emotionally enslaved women in their wake. They do this because they are weak. The temptation is too strong. They can't handle the power. I don't condone this. Derek Rake doesn't condone this. Right-thinking shoguns don't condone this. So, before we continue, I want you to do something for me. Pay attention because this is important. Next, I'll teach you a simple technique from Shogun method. It's something that gives you power to influence others. With it, you can persuade people to do something that you want them to do. Before you proceed, however, you must promise me you'll never use it to harm others. Make the promise by entering the following in the comments section below. I promise. This is important. Go do it now because I'll wait here. Done? Good. In Shogun method, you'll learn the fundamental truth about love and relationships. A woman bonds with a man through suffering, not pleasure. The reason is simple. It's because humans are wired that way. That's how our brain works. We will only treasure things we work hard for. To get a woman to love you, you have to make it hard for her to love you. It's counterintuitive, and yet it's true, as the 17,000 plus shoguns will tell you. So, how do you use this principle to be more persuasive in your daily life? Simple. By creating obstacles between the person you want to persuade and the thing you want him to do. In Shogun method, they call this manufacturing disasters. You'll create fake problems and obstacles to make things a little hard for her. If you're a shogun, you can find lots of examples inside the members area at shogunmethod.net. Now, let's look at an example. Let's say you're selling off your antique 1972 Gran Torino for $15,000. John, an interested buyer, calls you. He offers you $12,000 for the car. What are you going to do? Will you settle for the lower price? Of course not. I will show you how to make John agree to pay your asking price of $15,000 or even more. So here's how to do it. Remember that you want to introduce obstacles between John and him paying the full price of $15,000. Before that, however, there's something else you must do first. What's that? Before persuading anyone, you must first build rapport with him. You must make him like you. Remember, the deeper the rapport you have with him, the easier it will be to persuade him. The easiest way to build rapport is to look for shared interests. Here, both you and John have a shared interest in the Gran Torino. So, let's say you invite him over to look at the car. You discover that he's a collector, and like you, he likes muscle cars. You ask about his own collection, his favorite cars, and the stories behind them. You both get along nicely. You feel that you have a genuine connection with John, And to John, you're not just another guy who's selling his car. You're now a friend, someone he has something in common with. And not only that, he feels he can spend hours talking shop with you. So far, so good, right? Now, this is where the magic happens. You tell him, "You know what, John? I'm glad to have met you, and I'm having a blast talking to you about muscle cars. You're really interesting. I have learned a lot from you." But here's the thing. It's weird, but the more I look at the Gran Torino, the more I think back about the good times I had with it. Then you drop the bombshell. "I really don't know if I should sell it at all." That's the first obstacle you're throwing in his way. Of course, you should expect him to be annoyed, but if you have built enough rapport with him, then guess what? He won't. Next, you tell him, "Maybe I should let my son have it instead." In Shogun method, we call this the next available alternative, or NAA. This is a powerful motivator if used correctly. We'll talk more about this in a moment. At this point, you turn him away. Say, "Maybe we can't do a deal today, but who knows what's going to happen, right? I might sell it, maybe, to you in the future. Anyhow, I'm glad to make a friend today." Notice you're not giving him a straight no. You want to sound uncertain in your decision. You want to be ambiguous. Why? Because you want to confuse him so that he can't think straight. As he leaves, these questions swirl in his mind. What made him change his mind? Was it something I said? He seemed uncertain. What did he mean by, "Maybe I'll sell to you in the future"? And the most important question of all, perhaps I can still convince him to sell, but how? Of course, the only option for him is to offer you the full price of $15,000, or, if he is smart, he will even offer to pay a little more. True enough, John calls you up to make a counteroffer. What will you do? Will you accept the offer immediately? Yes or no? And why? Think about it for a minute. Pause the video if you need to, and then enter your answer in the comments section below. We'll continue after that, okay? Okay, so the answer is no. You shouldn't be accepting John's offer immediately. Why? Because of two reasons. First, John may feel suspicious. If you suddenly look too eager to take up his offer, he might feel played or even scammed. 2. John will probably be hit by what's called the buyer's remorse. What's buyer's remorse? Well, we all sometimes regret the things we bought, right? Especially when it's something expensive that we bought on impulse. So, to prevent John from having the buyer's remorse later, here's what you say. "Let me think about it." See what I'm doing here? You're giving him hope, and yet you're not promising him anything. And guess what? Your short, ambiguous statement will create even more questions in his mind, and this is good for you. Let John brew in his own imagination for some time until you finally put him out of his misery. "Okay, John, I'll do it, but on one condition. You must promise me you'll take good care of this car. Please don't let it rot in the backyard." Which after this, John happily pays you $15,000 or more. Got all that? Now, let's recap the strategy in 5 steps. 1. You have developed rapport with your mark. 2. You have increased his interest in what you sell, the Gran Torino. 3. You have disqualified him by turning him away. This is obstacle number 1. 4. You have introduced the next available alternative, or the NAA. You could give the car to your son instead. This is obstacle number 2. 5. You have made him jump through another hoop to make the promise that he'll take good care of the car. This is obstacle number 3. In short, here's what you need to do to persuade anyone to do anything you want. Throw obstacles at him. That's it. That's the secret. Simple, right? And yet it runs against what we intuitively think works. In fact, many persuasion tactics that people know these days are pretty useless. It's true. And many of these tactics are nothing more but rehashes of Robert Cialdini's ideas. Look, I am a fan of Robert Cialdini and his work. I learned a lot from him when I was just starting out, and many of his theories are still somewhat valid today. And yet, if you look at them closely, you'll find more holes in them than a block of Swiss cheese. In fact, when I once asked Derek Rake about Cialdinian tricks like scarcity, social proof, or consistency, he laughed. "Don't be naive, Fredo," he said. "Who knows? I might do a video on the 2 problems with Chaldean-style persuasion in the future, but for now, understand this. If you've not been getting the results you want, it's not your fault. After all, you're probably doing the wrong thing without realizing it. You've been taught the wrong thing all this while. In fact, most things everyone learns about persuasion is wrong, and I can prove it to you. We are now nearing the end of this guide. Notice that I've not used anything fancy like whiteboard animations or videos of sexy women or other tricks to hold your attention. And yet you're still here with me up until the end. Do you know why? I've not used any of those Chaldean tricks like scarcity or social proof or reciprocity. And yet I had persuaded you to stick with me here. This video has been quite long, and yet you've made it. So how did I do it? Answer. Throughout this video, I've used Shogun method on you. It's kinda sneaky, I know. Do you know how though? If you do, enter what you think in the comments section below. I will randomly choose an answer, and if you get selected, I'll send you a special gift. For a different take on persuasion and social power, check out Shogun Method. You can find it at shogunmethod.com. Shogun Method is a program for guys who want to be better with women. It's not a persuasion program. Here's the thing though, many shoguns have used the same tactics in their daily lives to become powerful socially. I mean, it makes sense, right? I mean, if I can use Shogun Method on my woman, what's stopping me from using it on others? Knowing Shogun Method is a superpower that will put your life on cruise control. Imagine how your life will be when you've got the ability to make anyone do anything you want. Anything. One last thing though. I'd probably want to keep this to yourself because, let's face it, you don't want your rivals to know this, right? So let's keep this a secret between ourselves, okay?